Downtown between Brush Street and I-375. That's where we're located in the heart of Detroit at Ford Field, which first opened back in 2002. Today we hit Week 10, and we've got a good one in store between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Detroit Lions. Tyler Bass about ready to get us going. And we are underway from Ford Field. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be second down. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now Winston. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
The defender certainly didn't forget about him leaking out of the backfield. There's a guy ready and waiting to pick him up in coverage. And that throw had no shot.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Play fake. Winston. And that's complete. It's Chris Godwin. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Off the play fake. Winston. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Elliott. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. So far this season, this defense has had their issues against the pass, so that's a great sign for them to get the early pick.
Yeah, confidence builder for them, and an absolute shock for the quarterback because he went into it. He saw the numbers we saw. He watched them on tape. I think he came into this one thinking this is going to be a big day, and
it'll be intercepted. And the Buccaneers are going to have it here just past the 25. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
That turned into a very well-orchestrated play right there. Going to work his way out of the backfield to the right, and after he looked it in, he found plenty of space to roam and picked up big yardage.
Winston now to throw on first down. Now, quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
That was well played, but that was also an example of a corner who understands his coverage, realized he had support behind him, and could be a little more aggressive in the shorter zone, and did exactly that, knocking that pass away.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
To the air again with Winston. Throw left side, complete to Smith-Schuster. Touchdown! Juju Smith-Schuster, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. This is a crew. They've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really have. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You know, get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. Taken in at the 3. The return man, Ty Johnson. And he's only going to get this to the 4-yard line.
Well, not exactly a banner return, so he doesn't give his offense a whole lot of room to work with. They've got to go a long way now to try and score some points. I do know this from experience. There will be a few comments muttered his way by the offense as they head out on the field.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Tackle made that time by Vita Vea.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. Because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now back to throw.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jamel Dean. And the Bucs are going to take possession of the football.
But they're certainly not giving much help to their defense, are they? Because for the second time now, that D has had to run back out on the field early after an interception. And remember, on the last drive, the opposing side took it in for 6 after that interception.
Following the interception, Winston escaping the pressure right. And he's going to lose a yard or 2, taken down behind the line. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11. They go play action. Winston buying time to his left. Open man is the tight end, Nick Boyle. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. Well, this defense for the Lions, they were terrific in the win over Tennessee a week ago.
And I think our statistician, we ended up having to bring the blue tent and put it around him for a while because he was developing a hand injury from having to write down all the turnovers this team forced. 5, 6, 7, 8. Absolutely unbelievable. I hope he'll recover.
Play action now. Winston. Open man has got one. It's complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped it to 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
Fournette. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down. Fournette again. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Leonard Fournette with career touchdown number 75. And the Bucs lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 14-0. The Bucs ready for the kickoff, and here we go. It's in the air. And a short kick taken at about the 16. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. At their own 23-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
4-4, their record through 8 games on the season. Would you say that this team has overperformed, underperformed, or are they kind of right where you thought that they would be?
Do you mind if I say yes, yes, and yes? Because ultimately to me, 4-4 is about where they should be, because we've seen weeks where they've been really, really good. They've looked terrific. Other weeks where we wondered just how good is this team? They want to be consistent in their play, not consistently inconsistent, which is what they've been thus far.
He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
And some room to work. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
And so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now you got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down. They'll set up a throw. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
That's a really nice job there by the coverage, understanding that they're in a high-stakes situation. If he doesn't make a play on that ball, there's an excellent chance it ends up either as a touchdown or as a nice gain downfield.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And that'll be caught by St. Brown. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. They'll wind up losing a couple yards here on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Come on. Second Pirates.
They'll look to throw again. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Buccaneers defense holds, and they get the football back. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
3-5 is where they sit on the year. A very uneven start. It's certainly not an ideal position to be in at the halfway point of the season. CD, do you see an avenue where they can still be a playoff team, or is that ship sailed?
Well, since you took me to the nautical side, I'm going to try and keep up here, because to me, this ship is about ready to pull out of port. These next couple of games are absolute must-wins for them. Now, if they can win a couple, get to 5-5, maybe they start believing in themselves. But a loss here, that would move them to 3-6. And if that's the case, well, that boat is going to head out to the harbor with them still on the dock.
On play action, Winston. Throw right side, taken in by Godwin.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
The first down throw for Winston.
Right back to Chris Godwin. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25.
If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
So the completion good for just 3, and that'll make it second down. They will run with White out of the shotgun.
And they're knocking on the door now as a good run there. Going to take this to about the 10-yard line.
They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown.
Leonard Fournette with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bucs have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns.
Extra point right down the middle. And that makes the score 21-0.
21. Lions, nothing.
The Bucs ready for the kickoff. And here we go. It's in the air.
Taken at the 15, a short kick. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15.
Their own 16-yard line.
Here we go. Here we
The
go.
Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
And they are back to 500 on the year, got the win last weekend, and it's one that kept their playoff hopes alive.
And if you do have those hopes, 500 is not where you want to be at this point of the year. Now, we know they battled through some rough patches this season, so it now comes down to how they're going to finish. Not out of it. Can't afford any more missteps, though.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted.
And the Buccaneers are going to take possession of the football.
Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Jameis now on 1st down. Over the middle, he finds Godwin, complete.
And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
On 1st and 10, Winston.
They'll swing this out to Fournette.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Here's Winston. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And in for the Buccaneers touchdown. Russell Gage from 8 yards out.
And the Bucs continue to pull away here in this first half.
Point after, right down the middle. And it is 28-0.
The score, Buccaneers 28, Lions nothing.
The Bucs ready for the kickoff. And here we go. It's in the air.
And a short kick taken at about the 16. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20.
At their own 19-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Well, still early in this one, Charles, but the last time this offense was out there, they threw their first interception of the ball game, so trying to avoid repeating that.
It's caught inside the 25.
And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. And that looked almost to be a case of, a quarterback saying, hey, I'm going to throw this as far as I can and hope you run under it. Mission accomplished.
And to be honest, this first half hasn't been anything they'd be really proud of.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And the Bucs are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. First down, Winston. He's going to have the hook up to Gage.
Finding room at midfield.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10.
Completes it again to Gage.
And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. To throw, Winston. And he's got his man in stride, complete.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
Working with a 2nd and 3.
Jameis to throw it. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. Touchdown! 3 touchdown passes now in the ball game for Jameis Winston.
And the Bucs will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the rout is on here in this first half. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Fields this way up at the 17. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
First and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Let's go now.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want.
And my goodness, another interception.
And the Buccaneers are going to take possession of the football. Well, that is now his 5th interception thrown in this game. And Charles, you've got to tip your cap to this defense. I mean, they have been so impressive reading these passes, stepping in those lanes, and picking them off.
Yeah, sometimes the best offense is an excellent defense, and they've done exactly that. What do you think, partner? A season's worth of highlights in just 4 quarters? I think that's what we're seeing from this group.
So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. And his kick is good.
So after 5 touchdowns offensively, hey, maybe it's time to get the kicker a little work, and he's able to connect there.
I love that empathetic side of you. You're worried about him getting some action, getting to be a part of the game. Well, he got in and got it done.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. And a short kick taken at about the 16.
So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. It'll be Lions football to start the second half, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. And a short kick taken at about the 16. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
The Lions take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Here we go.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They'll look to throw here. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
That's good for the Lions. First and 10 at the 38-yard line.
On play action, they'll throw. And he fires one incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Credit the sack to Vita Vea.
And if we go back to the last series, remember their coverage allowed them to get a turnover in the last drive, a takeaway, and that helped contribute to a sack on this one. I think maybe this quarterback's a little bit hesitant. Last time he turned it over, now he sees his zone coverage a little bit slow to get rid of the football.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this will be incomplete. Boy, can you believe this? That one probably should have been picked too. Instead, it's 4th down.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
Check.
They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And now here is another interception. And the Bucs are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield.
Well, I think everyone who's watching was certainly hoping to see things get a little bit better for them in this half, weren't we? But it was a downright miserable first half that's carried over with an interception to begin the second half. That's a defeated offense right there, and there's still a lot of game left. I don't think that's the last turnover we're going to see today, partner.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 45-yard line.
From the 45 on 2nd down, Winston. That is caught. It's Chris Godwin. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. 33 yards that time.
First down, Buccaneers.
Winston. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And in for the Buccaneers touchdown. Jameis Winston with his 4th touchdown pass of the afternoon. And the Buccaneers take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter.
Lions, nothing.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Taken at the 15, a short kick.
And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized. Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect.
Back to 60.
They'll look to throw now on first down. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. And the Buccaneers are going to get the football back at their own 17. The number 7 usually lucky here. Not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he'd won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about one game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer, the last to do it in 2001, to throw 7 picks. Winston now to throw on first down. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Now Winston. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
A gain of 9 brings up
Final minute now of the third quarter. To throw again on second down. Winston. Oh, he's trying for Smith-Schuster, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And the Lions are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. Well, with the size of lead that this offense has, I don't think that interception is really going to affect them much. But at least for this defense, something small to hang their hat on.
Yeah, and let's face it, they're not even scoreboard watching anymore, right? They're just trying their best to make a play, get themselves off the field, which they just did, and salvage a little bit of pride in this one.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Well, it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Jordan Poyer.
And the Bucs are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield.
Yes, folks, that is his 3rd interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around a defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And now off to the races down the right side. And he will bring it back. An interception return for the Lions touchdown. Maybe a small measure of revenge for this defense offense because they've been thoroughly dominated so far, but a brief bright spot there with that pick six.
Seemingly coming up for air after being dominated as you described. They get a nice play there. Probably not going to change the balance of this game, but they have to feel a little bit better about themselves after that.
An extra point by Bass, up and good, as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play.
Tyler Bass set to kick off.
Here's Bass now to send it away. Taking it about the 1. And he will make it back to the 15, and that's it. Good coverage there by the kick team.
Their own 15-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
8 yards on the pickup.
2nd and 2. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Again, he'll drop to throw. Godwin's got it. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. A 24-yard touchdown. And the Buccaneers look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
Lions 7.
The Bucs ready for the kickoff. And here we go. It's in the air. Taken at the 15, a short kick. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
19 tight, 19 tight.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And this offense on third down today, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. They'll set up to throw. The open man is Shark. It's complete. And out across midfield down to the 45. Back to throw again.
Right side to Williams. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. Ball at the 40 here for 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5 at the Buccaneers 40-yard line.
They'll look to throw again.
They'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Freiermuth. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
This game just keeps evolving and changing, doesn't it? You got a tight end who can move around a lot, not necessarily using a big body on him. Sometimes you take a corner, a better cover guy, and put him on him and try and take him out of the game as we've seen in this one.
You're exactly right. They've taken him out of the game. That was just his first catch. Big reason they're losing right now. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. He's airing it out for Williams. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. He'll drop to throw.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Back to throw. He's airing it out for Williams. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit.
Jamison Williams.
42 yards.
And the Lions get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
Extra point by Bass, up and good.
As they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play.
14. Tyler Bass set to kick off.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They're in control here as they start 1st and 10 and appearing to have righted the ship following that 2-game losing streak. Throwing to start the drive. Madsen.
Looking deep downfield. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
To Chris Godwin. A gain of 12. First down, Buccaneers.
Now a play fake here on first down. Right back to Chris Godwin. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
There's absolutely been no stopping this offense today. They already have the big lead, obviously. Here in the fourth quarter, they could coast to the end, but right now they're not passing up any chances to put up some garbage time yardage.
And, partner, why would they? Because who knows the next time you'll be playing as well as you have today. When you're in that zone, you go ahead and take full advantage of it. You don't worry about your opponent. You just worry about what you're doing.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Jameis again.
He'll get that out to the flat to White. And he's going to get this down near the 25. They have been unstoppable this afternoon, Charles. They just went after them from the start, and pass plays like we just saw. They're continuing their dominance here despite the big lead in the fourth quarter.
And that they have in every way. And plays like that across all phases of the game, they've just been effortless for them in this one. And that's what's helped them build such a large lead and allowed them to smile as this game continues.
They're looking to throw this. Winston. And his throw is incomplete.
Up big here in the fourth quarter, up really big. That pass and incompletion, I don't think they needed the completion, but Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points. But they're not going to turn them down. They're going to continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. Now whistles here before the snap. Looked like one of the Bucs may have moved. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. Operating from the gun. Madsen. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there. And now 4th down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
Winston to throw for it on 4th. And that is incomplete. The Bucs trying on 4th down to come up empty. And the Lions will take over. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow. Talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're all.
And this is going to be intercepted. And it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD.
But not much defensive resistance on that drive. And really, Charles, the way this offense has been humming, they haven't faced much defensive resistance the entire game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that one team, their defense did not wake up and make it to the stadium for this one. There may be some major changes on that side of the ball when we see them the next time out.
The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as he'll go for 2.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
The Bucs summon their offense back onto the field here. They're going to go for 2. Winston to throw for it. It's complete, and he will not make it to the goal line as his try for 2 is going to come up empty. But that's little consolation to this defense as they have been porous all game long. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Throwing again on second down. Locke. Now a desperation throw deep downfield.
And he's just throwing the ball up for grabs now. Fortunately, that one going to fall incomplete.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
He's got this complete to Williams.
And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left.
Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now. But as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that...
And my goodness, another interception.
Picked up by Jamel Dean. And the Buccaneers come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago, and you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every